Hi, my name is Jocelyn Sanchez, and I will be speaking on Senate Bill 267, Credit History. This bill was introduced by a state Senate member, Susan Eggman. She introduced this bill to show appreciation for the ongoing attempts to provide everyone with equal access to housing options. The passing of Senate Bill 267 on January 1st, 2024 states property owners are not allowed to use someone's credit history as a factor when reviewing rental applications. Instead, tenants must give different documents, including statements from banks, pay stubs, or government support to prove their financial reliability. By understanding different perspectives on this new law, we are able to understand both sides to how it could impact the residents and landlords. In this presentation, I will explore the advantages and disadvantages of banning credit score checks when considering rental housing applications. The first pro-argument in favor of the legislation is its recognition of housing as a basic human right. As stated by housing advocate Molnar in 2024, this point of view relates to world values, as suggested through an article from the United States National Reporter on Adequate Housing in 2023. He states, "It's a step toward recognizing housing as a human right." Molnar, 2024. Through the passage of this law, California shows its commitment to guaranteeing fair and equal housing to house for all individuals, in line with universal human right principles. Molnar's statement draws attention to the importance of the law in acknowledging housing as a fundamental aspect that defines the quality of life. As stated in this quote, homelessness is the consequence of a society that sees housing as an investment instead of a human right. In 2023, the California government pointed out the need to address problems with housing by encouraging creative solutions. As stated in their website, this legislation streamlines housing developments and allows institutions like colleges and religious organizations to use portions of their property to build housing and continues a state statute used to hold local communities accountable for their fair share of housing. California Government 2023. This approach supports the state's goal of creating a housing ecosystem that is more responsive and adaptable. It encourages active participation from different organizations to address the housing crisis. As we see in these photos, the economic threshold for the fair market rent per bedroom size as just one bedroom, $2,000. This does not align with the current minimum wage at $17 per hour. It just is not possible for many to make it on their own in Los Angeles. This approach supports the state's goal of creating a housing ecosystem that is more responsive and adaptable. It encourages active participation from different organizations to address the housing crisis. The first con argument is the possibility that the passing of Senate Bill 267 on January 1st could accidentally lead to an increase in homelessness. As highlighted by Wu and Tut in 2023, done wrong, it could thrust people already struggling to pay rent and make ends meet into homelessness. There is concern that if the legislation is not implemented correctly, it could have unintended effects, especially for those who are already facing financial difficulties. Some believe that if landlords are not allowed to consider credit scores in the rental application process, there is a chance they might miss important financial data. This could potentially result in housing decisions that fail to properly assess a person's capacity to fulfill rental responsibilities. There is a concern that without a proper assessment of financial responsibility, there could be a rise in situations where tenants face difficulties in paying rent, which could potentially lead to homelessness. This argument highlights the importance of taking a careful and well-rounded approach to prevent the worsening of the current housing problems. As we see in this map of the United States, based on the year 2023, California is well near the end of homelessness as a very big problem. Some of the top concerns of landlords not being able to run credit checks are problems with payment, prior eviction history, prior criminal history, and fraud. Another argument against this is made by the claim that Senate Bill 267, which went into effect on January 1st, 2024, changes the way landlords make decisions by no longer considering credit checks as crucial factors. As stated by Cunningham in 2023, previously, the credit score served as a private tool for landlords, helping them predict a potential tenant's ability to meet their rental obligations. However, this new legislation effectively removes this tool from landlords, altering the way landlords evaluate applicants. Cunningham, 2023. In the past, credit scores were used as a convenient and standardized way to predict a tenant's ability to fulfill rental obligations. Some suggest that without this commonly used system, landlords might run into challenges when assessing the financial dependability of new tenants, which could result in a less informed decision-making process. This viewpoint implies that Senate Bill 267, credit history, regardless of its stated goal to prevent credit score discrimination, might prevent landlords from making informed and financially responsible decisions during the rental application process. After taking into account the advantages and disadvantages of Senate Bill 267, all of the evidence supports in favor of credit history bill. The law, which is intended to support equal opportunities and growing assessment techniques, fits the basic values of equality in housing, whether it be apartments or houses. The argument in favor of Senate Bill 267 recognizes the importance of change, but also shows a creative and open-minded way of changing the ways we judge people when it comes to rental applications. With a priority on equality and an open-minded way to consider multiple options, Senate Bill 267 represents an important step towards creating a more balanced housing environment. Thank you for listening to my presentation.